Ancient Egypt always holds mysterious tales and strange legends, leaving scientists around the world scratching their heads for answers. They were meticulously recorded on sheets of papyrus with the utmost care. Even after decades, these ancient manuscripts remain a mystery with very few satisfactory explanations. The encounters between ancient Egyptians and extraterrestrial beings are still preserved in their monuments. Papyrus, also known as bulrush, is a thick, paper-like material made from the inner pith of the papyrus plant. The type of sedge used for bags once grew abundantly in the moist lands of the Nin River Delta. Records indicate that core rope was first used in ancient Egypt. They were used to record songs, events, diaries, and contemporary stories in written form. Archaeologists have discovered many ancient papyrus scrolls such as the Ani papyrus, the Na papyrus, the Bulat papyrus, and the Lit papyrus, with incredibly diverse contents. This is a distinctive feature in the culture of ancient Egypt. This type of book is custom designed for each individual, and everyone has the task of recording different events. Ani's papyrus scroll belongs to Ani, a scribe who copied important manuscripts in the city of Thebes, Egypt, written around 1250 BCE. These papyrus books are written in hieroglyphs accompanied by colorful illustrations. These manuscripts are 6 to 7 centimeters long and 42 centimeters wide. The Ani papyrus contains many fascinating passages, but we will focus on the hymn to the god Ra, as it includes detailed descriptions of two ships, the T-jet boat and the Sekhet boat. This is an incredibly captivating passage, where ships glide smoothly across the sky and drop anchor to rest among countless stars. These lines do not seem to describe ships gliding across the water. Here are the English translation options based on your request. Hymn to Ra. According to the description, this famous deity in ancient Egyptian civilization has a human body, the head of a falcon, and wears a round disc-shaped crown symbolizing the sun. This is one of the most important deities in the great Icap County world, holding power everywhere, from the sky, the earth, to the underworld. It is said that from the primordial mound rising in the midst of Nun Lake, he emerged and began the work of creating the world. Sometimes, he is depicted as a boy emerging from a lotus flower. The ancient Egyptians believed that the sun god was reborn each day. The next morning, after bathing and having breakfast, he continued his journey across the sky in his boat. Each day, he spent an hour inspecting one of the 12 areas under his jurisdiction. When the sun sets, it is believed that the sun god descends into the underworld, only to be reborn again the next morning. Throughout the endless night, the supreme deity wrestled with his eternal nemesis, Ipep, the colossal serpent reigning over the underworld. And the lyrics praising this skin deity go as follows. May the soul of the honored Sirius Ani find liberation and ascend to heaven to be with the divine. May you set sail on the Mautet ship, and may you dock safely aboard the Sak-Tet vessel. And may you find your own path, weaving through the tireless stars across the celestial sky. He soared across the sky, every gaze following his figure and journey, for he had long since vanished from their sight. He appears at dawn and dusk each day. The book-Tet ship, where he stands, departs with an extraordinary force. The radiance of your light shines upon every face. No one has the right to know how many red and golden rays you possess, nor are they permitted to hear of the dazzling flashes that burst forth from you. The land of the gods, the eastern land of Pult, must be seen so that the secrets hidden in men's hearts may be revealed. When a person stands alone and rises above the clouds, they become the very embodiment of the awakened sky. Throughout history, scholars have debated the existence of the legendary kingdom of Pult, as no one has been able to pinpoint the exact location of this land. It is believed to be located near the Atbara River, in what is now the territory of Ethiopia. This may be a kingdom located south of Nubia, roughly between the Blue Nile and the Red Sea, but its exact location remains unclear. Many theories suggest it lies in the southern regions of Sudan or Ethiopia. According to many recorded documents, Pult was located not far from Egypt and belonged to the eastern region. Sometimes, that place is hailed as the land of deities and spoken of with deep reverence. Besides the Ani papyrus scroll, we also discovered another strange content in the documents related to the Na papyrus. It tells of divine beings being pulled from a lake of fire yet remaining unharmed. How could this happen? Why were those sacred creatures completely unharmed by the flames? Here are the natural English translations for the given Vietnamese text. And here, the door of time will open. Perhaps the gods from another dimension are simply a form of beauty worship. Perhaps the strangest story mentioned in a passage from Walshberg's Egyptian literary work is the abolition of the practice of human sacrifice. Na Khoi Paper District, number 10477, row 6. Now, please focus and listen carefully to the important points I am about to present. Because this passage mentions many elements that coincide with the theme of time travel, an issue that has been giving us endless headaches all this time. I am an unknown old man, living quietly with few knowing of my existence. I am yesterday, the one who has witnessed millions of years as my wealth. I walk the path of gods and enlightened ones. I am the master of the eternal realm. I issue decrees and deliver majestic judgments like the god Khepera. I am the overlord of the kingdom of Urare. I reign in Uchik, the eye of god Jia, and I exist within the fruit of proof. It was given to us so we could spend our whole lives together. When I reign in Uchik, it is sealed, and I exist by the power of this place. I walk forth and radiate brilliance. I enter the world and give birth to countless new wonders. The throne is where I reign. And I sat in the lavish room, facing it. I am Hulus, the one who has endured for millions of years. I open the door to heaven. I reign upon the throne. I make sure today's deliveries go smoothly. I am a child wandering down the road called yesterday. I stand for today, reaching out to the nations and people yet unheard. I have protected humanity for millions of years. Whether you are subjects of heaven, earth, the south, the north, the east, or the west. Fear flows relentlessly, coursing through the veins of every person. I am one who has weathered life's many storms, their marks etched deep within the gaze of others. And never again shall I face death. My soul resides within this body, yet my form belongs to the land where I live. I am a nobody, unknown to anyone. But those red-faced brutes all turned their gaze toward us. I am someone who embodies transparency and sincerity. Earlier, some deeply mystical evidence was discovered in ancient Egyptian manuscripts. Today, many ancient wisdoms remain shrouded in a veil of mystery, leaving scientists at a loss. From the earliest stages in the history of Nile River civilization, he was known as the one who guided souls to the other world. At the same time, he also participated in the ritual of weighing the hearts of the dead in Egypt. Anubis, the jackal-headed god, was the guardian of tombs and closely associated with the mummification ritual. One of the most famous and enigmatic gods of ancient Egypt, he is deeply entwined with many profound spiritual legends. The god Anubis first appeared in records from the Old Kingdom period of ancient Egypt. But according to some recent studies, he may have appeared even earlier than that period. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the god Anubis is also known as Anpu or Inpu. This word closely resembles the meaning of a royal child or a state of weakness, expressed in the form of a verb. The one who belongs to the embalming place. Anubis is the son of Ra, one of the most ancient gods in Egyptian mythology. But later, he was regarded as the son of the gods Osiris and Nephthys, and also the one who helped the goddess Isis embalm the body of his deceased father. Indeed, according to the legend of Osiris and Isis, Osiris was brutally murdered. Then, the entrails of the god Osiris were given to Anubis as a gift. Anubis mummified and resurrected Osiris in the afterlife, enabling him to become the king who ruled the underworld. Through this connection, Anubis gradually became the guardian deity of mummies and the one who directly performed funeral rites during the mummification process. The god Anubis has a human body and the head of a black jackal. According to ancient Egyptian belief, the color black often symbolized decay, but the black of the god Anubis carried a completely opposite meaning. It symbolizes rebirth and life, bearing the color of the Nile's alluvial soil and the hue of a mummy after preservation. Therefore, the image of the god Anubis is often depicted in black, along with objects associated with death, such as mummy wrappings. His mascot is the golden wolf Akap, also known as the golden jackal. Moreover, Anubis wears a scarf around his neck, symbolizing both the protection of the goddesses and the guardian power of this deity himself. The Akapko people believe that jackals will help protect buried bodies from scavengers. When a soldier dies and becomes one of the dead, the god Anubis transforms into a guide dog, leading their soul to the afterlife. They decided to divide the spoils or sometimes simply guard a corpse. Anubis is renowned as the god of death, overseeing mummification and guiding lost souls to the afterlife. However, to this day, archaeologists have yet to discover any large temple specifically built for this deity. His temple was nothing but tombs and jewelry. The main worship centers of him are often found in the city of Osrud, the lower central region of Egypt, and the ancient town of Hadad. His name is also inscribed on the walls of the Mastaba tomb, ancient, massive mud brick tombs dating back to the early dynastic period. Be like a temple and a cemetery close to dogs, along with jackals, was found at Anubion, an area located in the eastern part of Saqqara. To date, the most famous temple dedicated to Anubis ever discovered is located in the tomb of King Tutankhamun. It lies behind the open entrance, without partitions, and leads straight to the storage room. In the early period of ancient dynasties, Anubis was even more revered than the god Osiris. Even during the Middle Kingdom period, when the worship of Osiris grew increasingly prominent, Anubis still maintained his position as one of the most important deities. Anubis also has the capacity to harm or oppose humans. He lived quite independently, occasionally helping people but also punishing them at times. One of his most important tasks was to oversee and protect the heart scale. This stems from the belief that after death, humans will meet the gods and their hearts will be placed on a sacred scale. First, the soul will enter the Great Judgment Hall, pleading its innocence before the 42 divine magistrates by affirming its purity, before undergoing the purification of all sins in the presence of the deities. Osiris, the god of justice and order, along with Thoth, the deity of writing and knowledge, the 42 judges, and of course, the indispensable Anubis, the god of death. The ancient Egyptians believed that the heart was the vessel of all emotions, intellect, will, and even a person's character. Only when the heart is deemed pure can the soul reach a world of peace. Anubis used a golden scale to weigh the heart of the deceased against an ostrich feather, the symbol of truth. If the heart is gentle and serene, their soul will be led to the field of reeds, where it shall live eternally in peace. But on the contrary, if the heart was heavy, symbolizing a sinful soul, it would be devoured by the demon Ammit, the embodiment of punishment. Ultimately, that individual will be exiled forever and subjected to countless punishments. Through this ritual, the fate of the soul lies entirely in Anubis's hands. Although Osiris had succeeded to the throne to rule over Egypt's underworld, Anubis still held an extremely vital role in the realm of the deceased. The god known as the Lord of Embalming, the Guide of Souls, and the Guardian of the Resting Place. Anubis would also punish grave robbers, one of the most heinous crimes in ancient Egypt. For those who live virtuously and honor the deceased, it is believed that they will be protected by him, enjoying a peaceful and happy life under his blessing. Anubis often appears in rituals, where he participates in the mummification of the dead or sits guarding the tomb to protect it. In reality, during the mummification process, a priest would wear a mask and dress like the god Anubis to perform the rituals. During the ceremony, they reenacted the weighing of the heart ritual, where the god Anubis would judge whether the deceased soul was virtuous enough to pass into the afterlife. The ancients believed that humans could not determine their own fate, yet they held hope that the god Anubis would grant them passage into the afterlife to enjoy eternal bliss. According to scholars Akab Howe and Zirandai Pitch, Anubis is the guardian of all secrets of arcane magic. In the papyrus Zumi Hawk, he emerges as the leader of Horus's armed forces. His brutality is entirely consistent with the tyrannical nature of Z. In contemporary magical texts, Anubis is revered as the lord of the land of wrappings. The entire legion of demonic forces must submit to his dominion. Even in the magic license district back then, Anubis was considered the main force behind the fires. The story in the papyrus of Zumi Hawk, set around 300 BCE, explains this custom by recounting how Set transformed into a leopard after attacking Osiris's body. Anubis seized it, named it, and marked the god's body with spots. The canine deity then commanded an end to the falsified reports, while ordering the priests to wear the markings in remembrance of the ancient cultural traditions predating the age of chariots. In today's popular culture, Anubis is associated with more powers and attributes. This mysterious deity has become a prominent figure in books, video games, and films throughout the 20th century and into the early 21st century. Contemporary artists often depict Anubis's power in a darker and more terrifying manner compared to the imagery portrayed by the ancient Egyptians. It is believed that Anubis's grotesque image stems from human fear and its exploitation for entertainment purposes in modern times. As the pivotal deity who determines whether mortal souls attain eternal life, Anubis was worshipped throughout the land. However, unlike other gods and goddesses, most of Anubis's temples existed in the form of golden tombs within the cemetery grounds. And not every golden tomb in this cemetery holds human remains inside. In the early period of the ancient Akhib dynasty, people believed that sacred animals were the incarnations of the deities they represented. That's why the dog catacomb system was created, an underground tunnel network preserving nearly 8 million mummified dog corpses, including jackals and foxes to honor the god of death. These dogs were offered to the god Anubis in the hope that he would guide the souls of the dead in the afterlife. Today, although we have learned quite a lot about the god Anubis, some mysteries surrounding this deity remain unsolved. However, one thing is undeniable. Anubis, the jackal-headed god Akhib, playing a central role in dispelling worries, thanks to the innate passion of the ancient Egyptians about what happens after we take our last breath. So that wraps up today's video from RU404. If you have any information, thoughts, or feedback, please leave a comment below so we can all know. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't. Goodbye for now, see you again soon.